Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another BizQuest interview. I'm your host, Amanda, and I'm the digital business owner. And today we're flying over to Vancouver, Canada. And the guest speaker for today is someone who is very respected in the community because she actually played an important role for hundreds of people over the world because when she started out this business, it's because of her a lot of people got introduced into this business and started to change their lives. And she is actually a Vietnamese immigrant. And she decided to join this business at an early age. And right now she's enjoying the life that she has always wanted for herself and for her family. So without further ado, let's welcome the guest speaker for today, Janet Mai. Hi, Janet.
Hi.
Thank you for taking the time to have this interview, and we're so thrilled to have you.
Yeah, no, I'm always such a privilege to be on, so thank you for having me.
Okay. So I would love to have you do some self-introduction so our audience get to know more about you a bit.
Yeah, so my name is Janet Mai. I'm from Vancouver, Canada. 36 years old now. I have two dogs. I'm the youngest of eight, four girls, four boys. So my
Wow.
family, yeah, you were good. My family immigrated here in 1987, so I was 6 months old. And yeah, I got lots of nieces and nephew. I'm a great auntie, and I'm an
Great
online.
auntie.
Yeah, great
Like
auntie.
not okay, okay.
So my
So it's
nieces
like the
and nephew had kids
same
before.
levels the grandmother, right? Like
Yeah.
grandmother
Oh
and then great auntie. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So great
Wow.
auntie. So a very big family.
Okay, but I can totally understand because I came from a big family as well. Like my mom had 12 siblings, my dad has 11
Okay.
siblings.
Yeah.
And but then I'm not to the point of great auntie yet.
Yeah.
Lucky for me.
Yeah.
so so that's a very interesting background. And moving on with one, what was the reason why you initially started this digital business?
Yeah, there was a lot of many factors. And at that point, like I was a flight attendant, insurance agent, bartender, working at my sister's nail salon, doing a lot of things on the side, always trying to get ahead in life because, I wanted to give back to my parents. I wanted to be that independent woman. I wanted to have a solid foundation before having a family. And at that
Mm,
moment, when I decided to join, I was like, man, I'm working 12 hours, like it could be 9 to 12 hour days, 6 or 7 days a week, but I felt like I wasn't getting ahead and that I
yeah.
was actually backtracking and I was actually following into my parents' immigrant mindset footprints of
Mm,
just working really hard and saving money. And and yeah, and just by being that flight attendant, I was like, man, it would be really cool if I could just um be able to turn a globe, put my finger on it, and then just go
yeah.
there and work and travel. So that's
Yeah.
why I was like, I gotta find something online where I could just work from my laptop.
Okay. Okay, but
Mhm.
then it's a lot of work. Did you do them simultaneously, like flight attendant, insurance agent, and working in a nail salon at the same time, like simultaneously
Yes, it,
on the
it
same
could
period
be
of time?
very similar. Maybe some I'll quit in between, or but a lot of the times I was juggling a couple of jobs at a time.
Wow, wow, that's so hard to imagine, given that you're already living in I know Vancouver is very expensive, but it's so hard to imagine that you're already accustomed to the environment there and the job culture there, and yet you still couldn't find a job where it's like a high paying job enough for you to make a living. I mean, if even if you're a flight attendant, I'm assuming flight attendant has always been a dream job for a lot of people, and it sounds
Mhm.
like a high paying job, and in
Mhm.
reality it's not. It didn't really
Um,
make sense for
I
you.
mean, it's high paying in terms of how much you get paid per hour and how you get paid to be on vacation. But you're
Yeah.
only allowed to work so much of the hours of the month because physically it takes a toll on your body. So we're actually not allowed to work more than a certain amount of hours. Like I know 80 hours is like considered full time, and then 100 something is like overtime. So, but you do,
Okay.
it's mandatory that we have to rest. So we can't actually maximize, and only unless you work for 20 years of being a flight attendant, then it is better money. But there's a lot that comes with being in a company for 20 years. Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Got it. And then that's 20 years of being away from your family, your loved ones, because during
Yeah.
the holidays, you're basically working while they're on vacation.
Yeah, and it just like for myself, I quit because it was health-wise, right? There's a lot of
Yeah.
radiation in the planes. People actually
Oh.
don't realize, I don't want to get too serious, but people don't realize how many flight attendants get cancer or like skin cancer. And like it's just,
Oh.
and because you're constantly trying to adjust to a different time zone,
Oh.
it depletes your body. And I couldn't even do it for 2 years, let alone, 20 years.
Wow. Wow. I didn't know that. But it looks so glamorous on the
Oh, great.
outside,
Yeah.
kind of. Yeah, I mean, but then there's a lot of pain and unknown, um, yeah, consequences of being a flight attendant. But yeah, so flight attendant, insurance agent, and working, you wanted to give back to your family as well, and spending more time with your loved ones. Those are definitely, we have all the commonalities of wanting to have or to provide a better life for our family and wanting a better life for ourselves and a healthier life as well.
Yeah.
So when you encountered this business, what part of this business that attracted you to it?
It's kind of funny. Originally, it was my lifelong friends now, my partners, business partners, mentors, but they lived in a penthouse in downtown Vancouver, and I was like, "Oh my god, my dream come true. I want to do that too."
Yeah.
So that was the part that originally attracted me, but of course, it was the freedom. It was the ability to work out of your
Mm.
laptop, being able to travel the world and go anywhere and work and just have no set schedule. So,
Wow. Wow. So what I'm hearing there is that the founders or the friends that you have that introduced you to this business actually live the life that you've always wanted,
yeah.
and somehow because you have already had or planted that seed or planted that dream of I wanted to have a free life where I could work remotely anywhere, anytime around the globe,
Yeah.
and so somehow it manifested like in an instant or quickly, kind of.
I would say it took me a year. I just knew that, yeah, it was just they were actually strangers who became my lifelong friends, but I think it was
Wow.
a year of trying to wish that. I literally,
Wow.
yeah.
Cool. So, and it's so amazing that you're, what once were mentors and business partners now became a lifelong friend. So, I think one of the part or what I'm hearing there is in this community or in this business, you actually get to meet people who could be your lifelong friends. You actually get friendship out of this as well.
Yeah, so many friendship, so many family. I call them family. Like we're more family than friends, if anything.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, that's beautiful. And so I'm sure with all businesses, there will be challenges, there will be tribulations, but so could you share a bit on what kind of challenges did you encounter in this business when you first started off or right now, perhaps?
Well, when I first started, the biggest challenge actually was because I was working full time. And
Yeah.
so it was prioritizing, right? Because a lot
Yeah.
of us don't have a business mindset or know how to delegate our time, or we're just tired after a long day of work. So you really have to set in your schedule, maybe do it first thing in the morning and just get through the training.
Mm,
Um, and that part actually, because I was excited, so it wasn't too bad, but it was more so of the keep up, attending the
mm,
meetings every week, and actually paying attention, like things
yeah.
like that. Because when you're working for yourself at home, there's nobody there to boss you around. There's nobody there to like
Yes.
cover over your shoulder and make sure you're doing the work. Like you really have
Yes.
to do the work yourself. So that was probably one of the biggest challenges for me.
Uh-huh.
Um, and now I guess the biggest challenge is trying not to take so many naps during the day because I have no
Oh,
one hovering over me. I'm like, oh, I'm kind of tired, so I'm gonna go take a short nap break, and then so you really have to make sure you get all the things that you need to get done in the day before you start to slack off. So I think it's a good and bad problem all in the same go, as long as you get your work done.
I get you. So it's like having that business mindset or entrepreneurial mind or entrepreneurial habits. I mean, it's like
Yeah,
when you're an employee, it's like you just get the thing done and then you're basically it. But then
yeah.
you have to just as a business owner, you have to build up the discipline
Mhm.
to schedule your time and make sure the thing that needs to be done that day has to be done.
Yeah,
But at the same time, you get the freedom as well, right?
yeah.
So I totally get about prioritizing, and I think that's one of the challenges that most people have, especially when they have spent their entire lifetime working for someone else. So, were there any tips or things that you did that helped you overcome this challenge of priority or developing the habit of prioritizing?
Well, now I did create a Excel sheet of
Okay.
priorities of things. So health and wellness, money, work, emails, all those things, social media. And so I'll
Mm,
actually have it's a daily accountability check-in. And I'll
okay.
highlight. So every time when I meditate, I'll mark that box, water I drink, mark that box, like 3 glasses. And so I'll do that list every single day. And so at
Wow.
times I'll forget to fill it out. But then the whole point is to look at the chart and be like, okay, which day did I actually fill out the chart? Which day did I drink more booze than water? Which day did
Yeah.
I spend money or make money? And which day did I answer my emails and messages, right? So you get really present to how productive you are and how it impacts your business as a business owner. And I
Wow.
think that is something that's been very helpful for me so far. And doing just a lot of personal work on, like, ever since I started this business, I used to be really shy and quiet. I don't even think I would be on this camera speaking to you right now, but like
Mm,
doing so much self work on yourself like makes a huge difference. Like I used to
oh,
never understand when entrepreneurs and those people that I watch, and I'm like, oh, mindset's not everything. You really got to put the work in, but mindset is everything.
is everything. Yes. Yes, it does. It does. Because whatever you believe in or whatever yeah, whatever you believe in, it's gonna reflect on your behaviors. It's gonna
Yeah.
reflect on your habits. And so, yeah, so it's going back to having that tracking sheet. It's so amazing to see that you're actually implementing that, because I've heard about it, but it takes a little bit of work. It's like it's not it takes time to have that habit, but it's an important habit, because as an entrepreneur or a business owner, you have to know, like, what's your progress. You have to know, are you actually doing what you need to do that day.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, that's definitely a good tip. Thanks for sharing.
Actually, and another good tip that I recently took on is a 30-minute timer. So,
Oh.
as long as I don't have meetings and stuff, like if I have a couple hours of things to do, I'll set my timer for 30 minutes and be like,
Mm,
okay, 30 minutes to check messages. And then the timer will go off. So it's like, what did I do for the last 30 minutes? It's like, oh, I checked my messages. I started going to Instagram. I kind of slacked off, but
yeah.
it gives you a timer to stop that, and then you reset it again and then go to the next task and then go to the next task. So you do that all day until you're done your work. And that actually
Okay.
keeps you accountable and interrupts you if you are slacking off, or it
Okay.
interrupts you if you're taking too long working on something.
Yes. Yes. That's another good tip. And I've heard about that, setting the what do you call it? Pomodoro technique? The Pomodoro technique, where you set off a time
Okay.
of a
Makes
set time for a certain task. We've known about it for years, but I guess it's like the implementation is really,
yeah,
really, really important.
yeah.
So a lot of challenges, but I'm sure you have overcome them over. How long have you been in the business? Six,
I guess, yeah, 6 years. Wow.
6 years. Wow. And you started it at the age of 30, which is really young. I
Mhm.
mean, it's hard to imagine. So, with over that 6 years, with 6 years of experience doing this business, were there any transformations that you have received in this business?
Like, I guess in all aspects. Yeah, so many. Like I got to quit all my jobs. I got to move
Wow.
downtown. Not yet in a penthouse, but obviously that's the goal.
Like
uh,
2 levels or 1 level down the penthouse, right?
yeah, I'm currently, I guess, 2 levels down the penthouse, or no, three house.
You're
Yeah,
almost there.
yeah, almost there. Yeah, and like I get to spend my days just literally doing what I love. My parents are so proud of me, and I think that was the most important thing, was to make them proud, because obviously,
Mhm.
as an immigrant family who has worked with their hands and legs and stuff, they don't really get this concept of being online and getting paid. So it was pretty cool to accomplish all of that and to be able to spoil them here and there, and to whatever they want, I could help them, right? So yeah.
Okay. So I guess with a lot of with the transformation, during the process, there were some struggles, or were there any doubts or fear, or when you were walking along this journey and make that transformation?
Yeah, always. because I didn't come from a business mindset, and because I was so used to getting paid for what I did, it's like it was hard to trust the process because I just wasn't there. And so that's what I said. I literally had to work on myself on a daily basis because I stayed committed to my goal. I was like, do I want to spend another 5 years doing the same thing, working all these jobs, could be different
Yeah.
jobs, but literally doing the same thing with the same outcome? Yeah, I might have a little bit more money in the bank, but I just literally wasted 5 years of my life. So,
Yeah.
and it wasn't paying me the lifestyle that I wanted. And so I really had to stay committed to my why. I had to stay committed. I only reached out or looked up to successful people, and I literally followed their advice, right? It's like,
Okay.
just so
Yeah.
don't look at what's not working, look at what's working. And
Okay.
yeah, and that literally was the opportunity to be able to step out of that negative talk every single time. And
Mm.
that's the whole point of it, because that negative self-talk will never leave you. It will never leave you, but it's
Mm.
just an opportunity for us to practice, to be like, okay, that's just my negative self-belief. So I'm just going to step out of it and then proceed with what I need to do. And so, of course, you're always going to have that talk in your head, but
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So it's and you've been doing that self practice for 6 years, and now you have accomplished. You may have made your parents proud, and you're living 2 levels down the down the penthouse, which is you're gonna move up there sometime soon. And yeah, those are amazing transformations, and congratulations for finally, attaining the lifestyle that you want, and being committed, fully focused and committed to your goal. I think that is one of the important thing in if you want to achieve anything in our life, is being fully committed and focus on that goal. Never let anything else distract us from our destination, right?
yeah.
So um, with all this we have covered a while ago, were there any advice or wisdom that you would like to impart with the audience, or perhaps make it simple? It's like, would you tell yourself, you know 6 years ago, like what would you tell yourself
Yeah.
when you
Well,
started out this business, or you're like, oh my god, this digital business, I mean, you're shy, you don't, you're not really comfortable, or you didn't have a business mindset, but now you're in a different place.
Well, I always leave it at this quote where this is why I took action to this business is you have to do things you've never done to get things you never had. So my brother always said that to me. And at that moment of deciding, like I decided to take on this business within 24 hours.
Wow.
Um,
It's quick.
and yeah, and it was just because I had to ask myself, where have you been? Like I was 30 years old, starting all over again with everything, relationships, blah, blah, blah. I had all these
Mm,
goals set for 30, didn't accomplish any of it, was literally starting all over again and just working harder than ever. So I really had to ask myself, like, what do you want to create in the next 5 years? Do you
mm,
want to be in the same position with different jobs? Do you want to be this person that says every year of how unhappy you are? Like,
mm,
so you really like have to make that decision there. And the great thing about this business is that you could reach out to people. Like we're real people. Like that's what gave
mm,
me the security of taking that next step. Like I reached out, I asked all these questions, and I just knew like it was for me. I felt like I had nothing to lose. Whatever I saw sparked my interest because I have tried a few other online things, and it was just the
mm.
integrity of the like community. It just felt like they had such a great support system,
Yeah.
and so I felt like I could trusted them. And so stalk people if you need to, because that's what I did. I looked up people just to make sure they're real, and
Okay.
so like I went to their social media. I'm like, okay, they're real. They're doing that business, so it was pretty cool. And so like do your due diligence, whether it be this business or anything in life. Like you have to take a direction, like, and that will ultimately lead you to where you need to be, even if it's not the final journey, but every step you
Yes.
take will get you closer to where you need to be.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's profound, and no, given that you have already attained the lifestyle you've always wanted for yourself, I think that definitely is a proven testimonial of the quote you have provided a while ago, or you've mentioned a while ago, which is, if you want to have a different lifestyle, you have to do something that you've never done before.
Yeah.
And so true to that. Thank you for ending this interview with that lovely quote. And
Yes.
once again, thank you for taking the time to have this interview and for sharing your journey. And it's been amazing, and it's been a inspiration. I mean, you're just 36-year-old and you're already living the lifestyle that you want, and which is a living proof. You're a living proof that anyone can actually do it, even if you're just young and you don't need to know a lot of things about business, but you could just simply start and with this business, you could receive training, you could receive support from the community, and you would receive tips and tricks. Like a while ago, Janet shared on how she shifted her entrepreneurial mindset and from employee to business, and what are the using the Pomodoro technique or prioritizing and focusing on your goals. So there are so many things that we could receive out of this business, not just simply building a business.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Janet, for sharing your story, and hopefully you'll live into your dream penthouse soon.
Thank you.
Sometime.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. So to my audience, if you're interested to know more about this business, feel free to watch a free 19-minute webinar on the link below. And until next time, I'll interview with this channel. I'll interview more of like-minded business owners in this community. And so still stay tuned, and I'll see you next time. So bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.